boys and the gopis had grown up, but still, on his arrival, they all embraced him, and Balaram embraced them in reciprocation. After this, he came before Maharaj Nanda and Yashoda and offered his respectful obeisances. So just see how sweet Vedic culture is. Although Lord Balaram is God, he goes to offer, bow down. You see this actually in cultured Indian families. You see the children coming to their parents, right? And they touch their parents' feet, and the parents touch their children's head. There's a sweetness going on. So we need to introduce this sweet culture to the people of Denmark more and more and more. So in response, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj offered their blessings. And they addressed him as Jagadishvara, or the Lord of the universe, who maintains everyone. So thus, according to their different ages and relationships, Lord Balaram exchanged feelings of friendship with them. That's why if a younger devotee takes on the role of being superior to an older devotee, then the flow of love can't take place, because an older person will naturally want to be kind to a younger one if they're a little bit, cultured. But if a younger devotee takes a role of thinking themselves superior to the older one, then the flow of love is impeded. It can't take place. It's artificial. It's like a little child, telling their mother or father, sit down and have your dinner. The parents might laugh at the kid. Oh, isn't that cute? A little child, but you don't take them seriously. Anyway, it goes on. I'll just jump ahead here. After being received, the cowherd men and boys, the gopis, and King Nanda and Yashoda, Lord Balaram sat down feeling satisfied, and they all surrounded him. First, Lord Balaram inquired from them about their welfare, and then, since they had not seen him for such a long time, they began to ask him different questions. And then it goes on to say, when the gopis arrived, Lord Balaram glanced over them with loving eyes. Being overjoyed, the gopis, who had so long been mortified on account of Krishna and Balaram's absence, began to ask about the welfare of the two brothers. They specifically asked Balaram whether Krishna was enjoying his life surrounded by the enlightened women of Dwarkapuri. Does he sometimes remember his father Nanda and his mother Yashoda and the other friends with whom he was intimately behaving with while in Vrindavan? Does Krishna have any plans to come here to see his mother Yashoda? And does he remember us gopis, who are now pitiably bereft of his company? Krishna may have forgotten us in the midst of the cultured women of Dwarka, but as far as we are concerned, we still remember him by collecting flowers and sewing them into garlands. When he does not come, however, we simply pass our time crying. If only he would come here and accept these garlands we have made. Dear Lord Balaram, descendant of Dashara, you know that we would give up everything for Krishna's friendship. Even in the great distress, one cannot give up the connection of family members. But although it might be impossible for others, we gave up our fathers, mothers, sisters, and relatives. But then Krishna, without caring a pinch for our renunciation, all of a sudden he renounced us and went away. He manufactured very nice words. My dear gopis, don't worry. The service you have rendered me is impossible for me to repay. After all, we are women. So how could we disbelieve him? Now we can understand that his sweet words were simply for cheating us. Protesting Krishna's absence from Vrindavan, another gopi said, my dear Balaram, we are, of course, just village girls, so Krishna could cheat us in that way. But what about the women of Dwarka? Don't think they are as foolish as we are. We village women might be misled by Krishna, but the women in the city of Dwarka are very clever and intelligent. Therefore, I would be surprised if such city women could be misled by Krishna and could believe his words. When the gopis were talking in this way, their feelings for Krishna became more and more intense. And they were experiencing Krishna's smiling, Krishna's words of love, Krishna's attractive features, Krishna's characteristics, and Krishna's embraces. By the force of their ecstatic feelings, it appeared to them that Krishna was personally present and dancing before them. Lord Balaram, of course, could understand the ecstatic feelings of the gopis, and therefore he wanted to pacify them. He was expert in presenting an appeal, and thus, treating the gopis very respectfully, he began to narrate the stories of Krishna tactfully, so that the gopis became satisfied. To keep the gopis in Vrindavan satisfied, Lord Balaram stayed there continuously for 2 months, namely the months of Chaitra, which is March and April, and Vaishakha, which is April and May. For those 2 months, Lord Balaram kept himself among the gopis, and he passed every night with them in the forest of Vrindavan to satisfy their desire for conjugal love. Thus, Balaram also enjoyed the rasa dance with the gopis during those 2 months. Since the season was springtime, the breeze on the bank of the Jamuna was blowing very mildly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, especially the flower known as Kaumudi. Moonlight filled the sky and spread everywhere, and thus the banks of the Jamuna appeared very bright and pleasing, and Lord Balaram enjoyed the company of the gopis there. And then it goes on that the demigod known as Varuna sent his daughter Varuni in the form of liquid honey oozing from the hollows of the trees. Because of this honey, the whole forest became aromatic, and the sweet aroma of the liquid honey, Varuni, captivated Balaramji. Balaramji and all the gopis became very much attracted by the taste of the Varuni, and all of them drank it together. While drinking this natural beverage, all the gopis chanted the glories of Lord Balaram, and Lord Balaram felt very happy, as if he had become intoxicated by drinking that Varuni beverage. His eyes rolled in a pleasing attitude. He was decorated with long garlands of forest flowers, and the whole situation appeared to be a great function of happiness because of this transcendental bliss. Lord Balaram smiled beautifully, and the drops of perspiration decorating his face appeared like soothing morning dew. So I realize we're running out of time here, and there's more, but maybe we could read it tonight or something. Does anyone have any thoughts about the verse today? Any thoughts or questions? Or there's no time for that? Okay, during Prasadam, if anyone wants to discuss. Lord Balaram's Rasyatra ki Jai, Sant Rasyatra ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, or Ramanandi.